There we go.
Huh.
All right, we are now recording and we are live. I'm sorry, everyone. We had some technical difficulties with Wirecast, kind of taking a vacation when I hit record live and record a video at the same time. Not quite sure what happened.
It's the hamsters, Rick. You forgot to feed the hamsters.
You know, I might have. This is also a brand new version of Wirecast that just came out, which is what fixed that lion problem.
Oh.
So there's a possibility it may have slightly tweaked something else. All I can say
Fix
is...
one thing and break another.
That's all I can say.
That's all.
That's it. That's it. Okay, let's start our intro, and we'll edit this out later on. So here we go.
You're watching SchreckTeck, where tech is Schrecky. This show is sponsored by Synapse 3DI at www.synapse3di.com and by Relate Corporation at www.relate.com.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to SchreckTeck. We finally got this show on the road. This is episode number 22, and it is August 2nd. We are in August, half the year gone already, and then some.
All the news.
Well, joining me today, as always, is the inimicable, the one and only
Gina Schreck, I'm here. Here from a remote location at the campus of Colorado State University. So go CSU Rams, moving my daughter into a new home for her junior year. So I actually slept here last night. Not a good thing. Well, we slept for 4 hours, so...
You survived.
Yeah. I did survive, although my back is really sore this morning from all the we literally moved furniture for the last 2.5 days because we had to move it. She had to be out of her old house by July 31st. Couldn't move in here till August 1st. So we had to move everything to one garage, and then the next day moved from the garage to this house. And the girls who were in this house had not moved out yet, so we had to move stuff into the garage here, wait for them to move out, and it was just filthy. So yeah, it's just been like one of those swirly nightmares, and I actually went and had to buy a shirt yesterday, buy some clothes, buy some stuff so I could actually sleep here and get ready here. So, that's my little whiny story for the day.
Now, Gina, you are in...
Fort Collins, Colorado.
You're in Fort Collins, okay.
Northern Colorado. And it's blistering hot, or it just could be this house with no air conditioning.
That could do it.
But it has been in the upper 90s.
So what else is new in your world, Gina?
Oh my gosh, that's all that I can really remember over the past, it's like I keep saying if I could just go a week where I can just get work done and stay in my office and actually be focused, it would be so grand. But I'm always working on the road, and thankfully for iPads and tethering, because again, there's no internet here at the house yet. So we are all tethering from my Android and loving that. How about you? What's going on in the Zanati world?
Not too much. We are just working. Lots of work, and it's good. Work is good. No complaints.
I know, it's great.
We got our studio.
I've been listening to a great book, and Rick, I thought this would be a good one to talk about today because it's a book by Brian Chen, who's he works for Wired magazine, and the book is called Always On, and it's the whole concept of since the smartphone came out, we are always on. We are connected 24/7 to information, any type of information that we need at our fingertips. And one of the questions that he threw out is it making us smarter or dumber?
Oh, definitely dumber.
We have this... Do you think it's making us dumber?
Absolutely.
See, now I had to really think about that because I think our first reaction is absolutely it's making us dumber. We don't have to know anything. We have it here. But I have more information today that I consume.
Yeah, but
you
may not be the average person. The average person sits there just with their mouth open, being fed information, And we've lost the ability to think critically, to analyze, to think, to have an imagination, to problem solve.
That's true.
So,
and for those of you who want a problem-solving app, see, there's a great game.
What a segue. What a segue.
I know, what a segue. There's a great game app called Max and the Magic Marker, and it's a problem-solving physics game. I love it because it really does make you think. But, it was interesting because there was a story that he tells, and it's really well known because I had heard this in the news, about a guy who was in, I believe it was Haiti. It's terrible now that I don't remember where, but during the earthquake, and when he was trapped, all he had was his smartphone. And he had injured himself really bad and was bleeding and didn't know what he was going to do. And he opens up his smartphone and just so happened to have the first aid kit app, which I have now on my phone. I loaded it on here right after I listened to that chapter. He went into the first aid kit app and read about how to treat his injury and actually saved his own life. He couldn't get signal to actually call for help, but he would use the flashlight. He used this app, and so then Brian Chin goes on to talk about we can call a taxi using Taxi Magic, another great app I've used. You can call a taxi. You can pay with your credit card via the app. You can make your dinner reservations as you're driving to the restaurant on Open Table. Just that we can do everything on here and stay connected with people. But what is that doing to us? And the cab driver in his story was talking about the Amish are smarter than us because, like you said, they have to problem solve and think. But I think it's a different type of information, don't you?
It is. But I think we are definitely losing the ability to walk, chew gum, think at the same time. If you look at the youth, they've got very fast hands. They can do Nintendo. They can do PS3s. That doesn't really buy you a real viable skill sometimes. But look at the problem-solving abilities. If you're fed everything easily, then you're not going to really be able to solve a problem. In other words, how do you... how should I put it? How do you survive in a world where you have to feed yourself if you don't know how to cut food?
Well, let's ask these college students here because you know what? They don't know how to cut food or clean bathroom, for that matter.
Because it
which is another problem altogether of being too spoiled.
Right, and it hasn't been done for them, so now they have to do it themselves, and they don't.
Right. See, I think that's work ethic too. I think kids don't have to do a lot. Because we're in a society of abundance, for the most part, where kids don't have to do a whole lot. But, yeah, it is interesting. There is an app truly for everything. And so Tina, my daughter, and I have been talking about and using a couple apps while we were doing all this moving. And one that's really interesting because we have so much information and so many things and sticky notes everywhere and lists of things. And I've had Evernote on my, I've used Evernote on my computer, Evernote on my Android, Evernote on my iPad, but really haven't used it to the point where I started using it daily or really aggregating information there. I had so many different note-taking apps, and I think we talked about different note-taking apps on here. Do you use Evernote?
I do. I use Evernote, I use OneNote, and I can't find any of my notes.
See, and that was what I was doing. I had so many note-taking apps, and I think we talked about this the week Neen was on, is really finding one where we keep everything. And, and I knew with Evernote you could do audio recordings, you can snap photos and put those in your notes, you can type notes during meetings, so it can do everything. You can put tags on it so you can search, and that really has been the key to make me realize this is the note-taking app for me, because when I go to find the notes and I can't remember which note-taking device, in Evernote I can go in there and do a search and it'll pull from all my notes that I've taken based on the tag.
Right.
So I have suddenly, last week and a half, fallen in love with Evernote and really have used it for projects. I'm And I think for projects, that's the key, that it's really been great.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much what I use it for. A lot of projects, when I'm in meetings, I can easily access the notes. I don't like the Windows-based interface. I think they really need a lot of work on that one. Haven't looked at the Mac interface.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
But have worked with Evernote on the iPad, on the iPhone a little bit. It really works well. The only problem is, like I said, I tend to use it mostly at work. And the interface on the web is so-so, and on Windows is definitely lacking. It really needs some tweaking. Some customization ability.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, and maybe that's it. I've used it on my Mac, and I've used it on my iPad and phone. And, I have now an entry, a notebook for blog ideas, so I can take pictures of things that will end up going into the blog and then jot down a couple notes. Or I have a project for Taylor's house, and I've been taking pictures and measuring, putting the measurements everywhere. So when I go to the store, I open it up, I see the picture, and I have all my notes right there. So that's been, some I think practical ways that all of a sudden, and I think that's the key with technology. We hear of these great new, whether it's social media, whether it's technology, whether it's apps. We hear of these, but until we see an application for our life, suddenly it clicks and you go, oh my gosh, this is a great app.
Right.
And I've used it, and I'm trying to get her to use it because it is one of the top college apps for students to take notes, have a different notebook for every class.
Well, not only that, if you have a device like an iPad, you can record your lectures and everything else and then actually store them in Evernote, though you will run out of space quickly doing that. But you could.
Right. You could. Or even just jotting down, after a lecture, jotting down your thoughts or study group. Last night she had a big test, that's where she is now. She has a big test today. She's taking an organic chemistry class during the summer. And so last night they were studying from 10 till midnight. And she came home saying, I wish I would have had so-and-so study notes. And I said, see, with Evernote, you can snap a picture of the notes. You can,
Now, there is one thing I found that is sort of a lacking thing in Evernote. When you have a note, there's no way, at least I haven't figured it out, to do a timestamp. So, for example, let's say you have a project and you've got a note that contains all the information for that project. I don't think there's any way to mark that and timestamp it so that when you start the new part of the note, let's say you start a note today, it puts that part, the date for the note on that part. That would be really nice to have a date feature, because otherwise, you just have to type it in by hand right now, but it'd be nice to just automatically put a date in, and that way you can demarcate where you are in a note, especially if you have a long note.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, anyone in the chat room, you guys are always brilliant. If anybody knows, is there a way to do that? Is that a feature, a setting that you have to turn on? Or
I think it's a wish list item.
We have to write to Evernote and say, here's what you need to add.
I think it's definitely
what's that?
I think it is a wish list item.
Yeah, wish list. That is interesting. Well, okay, so here's another question. Do you have business cards that you give out?
I do.
And do you use a lot of them now?
Yeah, I pretty much still do. Not as much if we go on the road we do, and if we go to trade shows we do, but other than that, not that much.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the last couple things I've gone to were, I'm trying to remember, I actually spoke at a couple things and actually had my business cards, but they were in my laptop case, across the room, and people would say, can I get your card? And I ended up just saying, here's my contact info, or writing down their contact info. And I don't write it down, I immediately open up my phone and I type it in, and then I send it. Well, and I just ordered new business cards with QR codes on them and all my, contact info. But I just think there's got to be a business card that has come out that, we can do away with business cards. And for a while, I was really excited about the Bump app.
Right.
And it's iPhones and Android. You bump phones, and it transfers your contact info to their contact.
Right.
And it basically sends the B card over to them, and they just save it in their contacts, which I love that concept.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody has the Bump app.
Right.
So you go somewhere and, Have you ever used that?
I haven't.
Have you ever? You haven't?
No. I'm afraid of breaking somebody's phone if I bump it.
Yeah, well, you bump knuckles. while you're holding your phone. And it vibrates, and you can send photos, you can send files, you can send, and it can be cross-platform between iOS, so an iPhone or an Android. They can cross-platform as well.
Now, Gina,
so it's really
Gina,
cool. However,
now, Gina,
yes,
I want you for a quick second. If I put my hand up, if I bump you with my fist, that could hurt somebody who's really small. Bumping is dangerous.
That is funny. Because you really barely have to tap knuckles, but some people go bam.
Bam.
And
That's
you do
exactly.
walk away, it's kind of a big bloody knuckles game. Yeah. So you don't want to have to do bloody knuckles. Another college game. But I'm warped. I'm going back into my college days. But I did find a really cool app this week, and I've been playing with it, and I sent one to you, and I was curious if you thought.
Oh, that's funny. You're the one who sent it to me. I marked it as spam. I thought it was spam.
What did you get? Because I was curious.
Okay, now this is why I marked it as spam. It said, you have been sent a business card by Twitter. Log into Twitter to verify your information. I said spam, and I just deleted it because I didn't like the message. It said, log in to verify your information, and it didn't say Twitter. I said, oh, this looks like a scam. So I marked it as scam. I blocked it and reported it as spam. So much for that one, huh?
No wonder my account was suspended this morning.
But see, their message is not good because they say log in to verify your account, and it sounded like one of those typical phishing kind of applications.
Well, and it did ask me, do I want to send it via email or Twitter? And I thought, I'm going to see what happens when I send it via Twitter. I didn't know what you would get on your end. So that's a good learning experience. Don't send it via Twitter. Send it to an email.
But I think there's an issue.
If they get that same.
They do, because you cannot look at your business card until you sign into their service. I think this is nothing more than a place trolling for business card info for their databases.
See, and it's not, and it's actually a really interesting service because you create your business cards, and then it just sends the business card info to them, and they don't need the service, it says.
Interesting.
So it says they don't need to set up an account.
Well, according to the Twitter one, I had to log into Twitter to verify who I was to be able to see the card.
Right. See, I wonder if I email it to you, if you'll just get my business card.
Try emailing me. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. The service is called YouMe, the letter U and then M-E, and then the website is SendYouMe. And so if you go to sendyoume.com, I first downloaded the apps. And right now it's only on iPad, iPhone. It's coming to Android soon. And it's free, so I've been playing with it. And you can create all these different fonts and different design cards. You can have one for personal use, you can have one for business use, and then what you do is you just send the person, here, let me send you my card, and then it sends over all your contact info in one shot, and it looks like business card for them.
Wait, no,
so that'll be interesting. I'll try and email it to you and see.
Okay, that's actually interesting because if you think about it, how often do you get business cards that either get lost, shuffled, or never to be found again? That's what happens to me all the time. By the way, the name of that program, I have a cousin in Italy. Well, actually, she's in Argentina.
Well, that's the key. I have a home business card. Oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm here. Actually, I was telling you, I have a cousin in Italy. Actually, an Argentine cousin who's part Italian, and what she does is, when you said you, me, that's how she talks. She goes, you, me, hey! So this may be her service. This may be her service. You, me, hey!
It's an Italian service. It's like I send you me.
You, me, hey. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
It's an interesting app for iPhone users and iPad users because while you're out, if somebody says, do you have a card? If you don't have a card on you, you can actually send it directly to them. And ahead of time, you set up all your info. So I put on there my website, my Twitter handle, my Facebook page. So you can choose what you want to send, and it saves it as that card. And then you could have, again, different cards for different purposes. And then you would send them the card that's appropriate for that meeting. And maybe you even create a card with a fake phone number if you were dating and you didn't want to give them your real card.
The idea sounds good, but I'm just fearful that they're trolling. So let's see how it actually turns out.
And that is a good point. If the other, well, I guess if I met someone and I said, here, let me email you my card, you would know to expect it.
Right.
But you're right. If I just email it to people blankly, they're going to think it's trolling.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that takes off. But I love the concept because I hate business cards, and I just think business cards and resumes are a thing of the past.
They
so
are.
We'll
they
see.
are.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. So okay, so here's another fun. It's not an app as much as it is a service. At the end of the week when you feel like, what did I accomplish this week? I don't even know what I did. I can't remember Monday, and today's only Tuesday. But and Neen would love this service because Neen and I are accountability buddies. So every week we get on a call and we just kind of talk about our business, what's going on, what are some challenges this week, and some goals that we want to accomplish before week end. Well, this is a really cool service called these are all horrible grammar. I done this.
I done this.
I done this.
Okay, now put those two together. You, me, I done this. Okay,
done this.
So we got people from Brooklyn running the internet right now. Hey.
That's what happens when there's no URLs, no domain names left. They come up with these.
Yeah. Now you got to say it right. It's I've done this.
Not I've done this.
Yeah.
It's I done
this. Yeah.
.com. Yeah.
Sort of like what up.
Letter I. What up? Yeah. Well, I done this. So you go to I done this and you basically just put in your email address. That's it. And then what happens is, and you set a time that they will send you an email every day that says, what did you do today? So that's all the email says. And you hit reply to that email. And then you type in one thing per line. So, I might say, sent out proposal. The next line, packed up Taylor's junk. The next line, had a client phone call. Whatever. You list everything you did. Now, the only problem I've had with this is even by the end of the day, I can't remember what I did. So, I done this needs, what are you doing now?
See, I would have another problem with that.
But you log everything in, and what it does, it puts it.
See, I would have a problem with that because I would get the email and it says, what have you done today? I said, what's it to you?
What have you done?
Yeah, what have you done? It's not about me, it's about you.
It's about you. Well, what's cool is that you can go and look at this calendar. So I've been doing this for a week. I've done this for a week. And
I've done this?
I go to the calendar and you look at, it's really cool. I go, wow, I feel like I've actually accomplished something.
And do they have like a random thing generator where you can say I've kind of randomly done all these things to make yourself feel good?
just make up stuff, which, sometimes I have days like that when I think, what did I accomplish today?
What have I done?
And I go back and I list on my regular calendar every little minute detail just so I can feel like, okay, no wonder my time is gone. So maybe that's it. But
see, my only concern with that is knowing me.
I was thinking, okay.
Yeah, if I had to do that on a daily basis, I would just probably stop doing it because it's too much work.
It's too much work. It's a good way to recap kind of for the week. What did I get done? Especially if you're doing some time tracking to see where am I spending my time. It might be helpful. Although my question with this service is, why wouldn't I just go to my Google Calendar and list everything there as I do it so I don't forget it by the end of the day? And then I'm able to look back on my Google Calendar. Maybe you even set up a special color code for daily, again, there's task features. And I thought it was kind of fun to play with and just see how,
So Gina, we should start a new site called What I Ain't Done.
What I ain't done. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What you done for me lately?
Yeah. So that's one of the funny things of just all these. I always wonder who thinks of these services and these apps and these because they're free. So somebody's just playing around saying, let's try this and see if it takes off. I don't know that this one, it's kind of funny to play with, but I'd rather see it on my Google Calendar and have set appointments to get everything done, which a lot of times I do. I'll actually create a time slot in the morning for specific tasks that I have to get done so that I can go back and see what I accomplished. But maybe I didn't accomplish it, so I didn't do that.
So maybe they could have a management version of that called What You Done.
What you done?
Yeah, what I done doesn't matter. It's what you done that counts.
What you done me today. Something.
But
yeah, that was good. So here's one more app before we talk about our
dilemma.
Facebook challenge today. One more app that I've been using with Taylor throughout this whole move. It's called Grocery IQ, and I use this religiously every week. I've been using this for probably 6-8 months. Grocery IQ, and it's an app, and I have it on my iPad, and you can create different stores. So I have grocery store, I might have Target, so you can load in kind of your favorite stores that you shop at. And then, as you make your lists at home, so if you run out of something at home, you can scan the barcode of the item, and it automatically adds it to your list. Or you can actually type in the item, and it'll add it to your list. If you have favorite items, there's this one type of blue cheese that I love, and I can never remember what it is when I go to the store. So I can add it to my favorites on the app so that whenever I'm at the store and I say, oh, what was the name of that blue cheese I wanted to get some more, I look at my favorites and it's there. It may not be on my list to get, but it's in my favorites. So really cool app, I think, for managing kind of home inventory. And just when you're, I always say, you used to write things on the refrigerator whenever, oh, look, she's crawling across the floor. Oh, we didn't see that.
I see somebody crawling over there. Are you guys doing commando training on the floor?
That's kind of the Mission Impossible. Like, she's crawling across.
Is that Junior Gina there?
Yes, that is Taylor, the college student, the zoology. Or, oh, look, she's wearing her groundhog shirt.
Gina Schreck.
Yeah. That was hilarious. I could see her just twinkling across.
It was hard.
No, we can't see her. So anyway, Grocery IQ. Rick, the things that we do on this
I
show.
think she's crawling away now. Yeah. She just crawled away.
Oh, crying. That was so funny.
That's funny. It was funny. She crawled away. She didn't walk away. She crawled away.
And you know, the floor is disgusting. Don't crawl on this floor yet.
Oh, she's back. She's gone.
Oh, brother. That's funny. Okay. So any apps that you've discovered this week that you want to talk about? Or is it all about me?
No, it's all about you today.
Because, Rick, I done this, what you do.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've downloaded about 6 apps this week, but none of them really stood out as anything that was all that good.
I know. Well, Rick, that doesn't prevent me from sharing them.
That's true. Actually, let me see. What did I get this week? There's got to be a better way to organize these things.
I know. You know, I always save the last page of my iPad and my Android phone. I save the last page for experimenting with apps. And then once they've earned a place in the first page or second page or third page or fourth page of my apps, then I move them accordingly. But while you're looking, a couple fun games for those of you who have little kids under the age of 3, probably maybe under the age of 4. It's called the Itsy Bitsy Spider on the iPad. Really interesting game. And it's not a game because there's no object, there's no winning, there's no points. Because at that age, they don't care about winning and points. They like touching and discovering. And it's really cool because it's around the whole theme of Itsy Bitsy Spider song. And you touch on things. Every time you touch on it, things happen. The spider goes up the spout, or rain comes down. You touch a cloud, it blows wind. Really cute app. Game for small children. Again, not for kids who want to win.
Or college students.
Yeah, it might be appropriate for college students. And then if you do have older kids in the teen years, preteen and teen years, that Max and the Magic Marker, I love that game. And it's won a bunch of awards because of its problem solving, really tough. The further you go, and it's not violent, it's very creative. Max goes around with his crayon, his marker, and has to create solutions to different problems with his crayon.
No,
so
I did download one app this week, and that's the Vimeo app. Our show is on Vimeo.
Right.
Vimeo.com/channels/SchreckTeck. And I downloaded the Vimeo app on the iPad, and it does a pretty good job. You can type in SchreckTeck, and they all show up, or any other kind of thing that you want to look on. It's kind of like a Google app, but a YouTube app, but it's called Vimeo. It actually does a pretty good job.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's a good one. And it's on. You have that on your iPad or your?
It's on my iPad. You can get it on the phone too.
Okay. Love it. Love that one.
And there is a Justin TV app, but I haven't quite gotten it to work yet. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong on it.
Well, it's funny because I have that on my iPad and I have it on my Android phone, the Justin TV. And it's interesting because when you go live with other shows, I get a thing that pops up saying relate.
Oh, you do?
Going
Okay.
live.
Maybe I probably don't have it set up right.
It's cool. Now I've never watched anything live from there. I was always trying to use it during our show. I'll have to try it during one of the other shows just to participate via the app because that's pretty cool.
So do you have the chat room open by any chance?
I don't. Well, I didn't want a chance opening the app again.
Oh, that's true.
Because I think that's what was making the echo. But I did have a couple. I'm working with. We always work with new startup businesses that are wanting us to manage their social media and help get it launched. And I say new. Not all of them are new businesses. Some of them are businesses that have a newer presence in social media, and so they're struggling. And it's interesting because one of the biggest mistakes or missed opportunities people make on their Facebook, whether it's personal profile or business page, is not loading photos. And it's interesting because Facebook is such a photo, people have an insatiable appetite for photos on Facebook. And really, it's such a photo sharing site. And that's really the number one thing people do on Facebook is share photos. And yet, when we come to our business page, it's just boring post. And that's usually the number one thing I see. And we just took it on a page, and I looked at it, and it was all posts. No photos or links that opened up, which, by the way, when you don't add a photo, a video, or a link to a Facebook post, it will not allow people to share that post. So let's say you share some great nugget that you think other people would like to pass on to their community. If you don't add something to it, I always say you got to add a little spice, video, photo, or a link. It won't open up and give people the ability to like, comment, share. It does let them like and comment, but there's no share, so they can't pass it on to their community. So, and when you look at someone's Facebook page that has no photos, it's just very bland. As a matter of fact, people like me just have a hard time. You look at all the text, not even going there. But a photo will draw you in, keeps people on your page longer, and the comments increase. The number of comments that you will get on a page goes up, so the engagement level goes up when you add photos. So that's my big Facebook tip, because most people still are not adding something extra to their posts.
Actually, that's a really good one. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that if you only put a post, it won't actually allow you to like or retweet it. Or
you can
share it.
Like it and comment. You can't forward it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know why they do that. Why you can't share anything.
Probably because
you
media.
Can only share.
It's all about media.
And that could be, but what would Facebook's motive be to get you to add photos? I don't know.
It's just a different. Maybe they just thought people wouldn't share text, but they would share the other stuff.
It could be. And I had somebody send me a question saying, I'm trying to share from somebody's Facebook page, something that I saw, and there's no way to share it. How do I find the share feature? And sure enough, I went over, and the link they were talking about, there was no added photo, video, or link. So when you put your post and send it out, it sits there. You know, not that people can't comment on it.
Yeah, that's
they
good
just
advice.
can't. If it's really fabulous.
Yep, that's
go viral.
That's definitely good advice.
So that's my big Facebook. Yeah, add those photos. Make it fun and visual and great photos. You know, there's so many great photos. And again, start using your photos on your phone. Snap pictures of funny things, and share those more often.
And if everything goes well, we are
so
getting
that's my.
And by the way, Gina, we are getting our press passes for a CES. And hopefully we'll get them real soon. It's all online, so we're applying. I think our daughter who works with us called you to get your information so she could register you. So
did she?
I think she did, or maybe she tried. I think that's why she reached out to you on Facebook.
Oh, this is okay. We did just connect via Facebook. Yes, Mrs. What is her last name now?
Ostrander.
Ostrander. Did you have to pause and think about that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, not that mine's any better, so it was okay.
Zanatti. Yeah. Zanatti. She goes back to that. I've done this.
Hey, you. Hey, you, me.
Hey, you, me.
But, so for all of you who are planning to go to CES, that's the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. We're planning on being there and filming live, so that should be fun.
That'll be awesome. I can't wait.
It'll be fun.
And coming up on SchreckTeck, next week we have Tamara Kleinberg, the Imaginables founder, and she works with companies on innovation. And so we're going to talk about innovation and technology and how we can be more innovative, creating products and service offerings. And then the week after that, we have the two women who are these famous bloggers of a blog called Cool Tech Moms. And so on Twitter, they're Cool Tech Moms, and they have one of the most popular mom blogs. So they're going to talk about back-to-school technology, gadgets and gizmos. They're so fun. So we have them, those are the next 2 weeks coming up.
That sounds great.
So be sure. Oh, Rick, how could we not talk about this? Be sure to like our Facebook page.
Yes.
We now have a Facebook page where we're loading up show notes and all the links that we talk about and apps. So it's facebook.com/SchreckTeck.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
And just as an aside, we have, I think Gina's got about 18,000 followers, maybe more. I've got about 1,000. And we were able to muster up 28 people to like it.
Pathetic, isn't it? That's pathetic.
28! Hey, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
We don't ask much of you.
Hey, you like me.
Anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Now, that is living proof about how social media is completely worthless.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's what I always tell people, because getting people to like a Facebook page is one of the hardest challenges.
Is it really?
And part of it is, one of the hardest things to do. And the reason is, you put out something that says, hey, come over and like my page. But if they're not online when you send that post,
they don't even
see it.
Right.
So by the time they log in, that post is long gone. So you have to put that out there multiple times.
Okay.
And I would say probably 3 times a week at different staggered times.
Okay.
To drive people to your Facebook page.
That's a good idea.
And then the next week maybe 3 times, the next week 2 times. So we still have some work to do.
Okay, I'll start doing that too.
So
we need a new site called.
Hey, you like.
Yeah, hey, like me. Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah, like me. Like us.
Yeah. So, but if ever you say, I missed the show, and what was that app? Or maybe I was listening, but I couldn't understand Gina because she was mumbling or too hyper.
Yeah.
What was she talking about? We'll put those URLs
Yeah,
in
and
the notes.
by the way, if you want to send us any hate mail because we're doing Italian imitations, chill out. We're both Italian.
We're both Italian, so we can.
We're allowed to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Although, see, Shrek, I married a German name into a German name, but my maiden name was Florio.
Florio. Florio.
Yeah. And we were going to call this Florio and Zanotti, but people would think it was a mafia. So.
That's good.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
The mafia.
You watch the show or you wind up deep in the ocean.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see, you're
Okay, well, I'm going to have a productive day, and I'll log this on my. I'll be still cleaning here in Fort Collins and setting up, and I'll log it in my I done this calendar.
I done this. That sounds
But
good.
you guys have a great week.
You too, and everybody in the chat room, and whoever is watching this in the recordings. Thank you so much for being here, and for SchreckTeck, we are signing off. We gone.
Ciao.
Ciao, baby.
We gone. Ciao, Bellas.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Oh, too funny.